Hey y'all. Last week I was meeting with a client who has run a very successful business conference for the last 6 years. And we were meeting to talk about how she could start storytelling her brand more effectively and growing her social following. And we're thinking of all these ideas, and then I thought, wait, you have all these amazing speakers that you've been bringing into these conferences, right? She's like, yeah. And so you must be sitting on 6 years worth of incredible content, this gold mine of value. And he's like, yeah, I guess I am. It's like, so what are you doing with that content? He's like, well, right now it's just sitting on a hard drive somewhere. And it just clicked for me that this is the case for a lot of speakers and presenters, thought leaders, as well as event organizers and businesses who host conferences. You spend all of this time bringing all these amazing people together, giving these epic presentations, spending your hard-earned money to capture them in high quality, and then you either just sit on them and do nothing, you slap them up on YouTube as the full-length presentations and hope people have an hour to watch these videos, or you keep them behind a paywall and you're like, well, you have to pay this amount per month, or you get all this access to this content. And strategies 2 and 3 are both good, but you're missing out on this amazing opportunity either as a speaker or as the business itself to really leverage and repurpose this content to grow your audience and get more conversions for your products, your services, or to attend a future event. So the purpose of this video is to walk you through 3 different ways that you can be repurposing those long-form speaker videos, those long-form presentations to help achieve better ROI. So the first are social clips. While there's a core part of your audience that may be willing to watch a full hour-long presentation, you're missing out on the broader group of people that just want a minute or two. You want to storytell to them, give that value on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. I call them nuggets of wisdom. It's where you find these little self-contained pieces of information, whether the speaker is giving an example or telling a story or giving 3 tips, 30 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes. And so the 3 platforms that this is going to be the most effective on is YouTube, YT, Facebook, and Instagram. So on YouTube, the best way to do this is don't just put them all in one big video playlist with all your clips. Think about what are those content pillars? What are those core messages that your people are speaking about? So if it's about, say, it's a conference about health food, you might have a playlist about, eating healthier or what foods to choose, reading nutrition labels, or exercising, or these different core pillars that you talk about as a brand. And think about how you can be cutting these clips and then giving them compelling headlines that solve a very specific problem, this little tiny bite-sized piece. For Facebook, one of the most effective methods are square format videos. And Gilby, if you can go ahead and link one of those up right now so they can see an example. You've seen plenty of these on Facebook with the big, bold header that gives that piece of intrigue. And then you have the caption file. We use rev.com in order to get transcriptions for all of our video content. And what that does is when people are scrolling through their feed, they hit this thing, they see this big square format video, they see this compelling headline, and if it resonates with them, they'll spend 1, 2, 3 minutes to watch it. The third, for Instagram, very similar to Facebook. The square format video works, or you can use the same content that you're sharing out on YouTube. Now, why this is so effective? 1, you can just share the content out in order to give value. But there's 2 other extra tips that you can leverage. The first is to tag the people that are in the video. So if there's a successful entrepreneur or thought leader or author, tag them in that little clip that you're sharing out there. Each time you do it, they then might reshare with their audience, or it'll pull in that audience. And you can also run ads with those videos and target people who follow that person. That way, you're engaging a whole new audience that then gets intrigued and wants to learn more. The other suggestion I would say is to include a call to action. So if you do a business conference and you're 6 months out, you can start seeding this content, and then at the end of every one of the videos, or in the first comment in the video, or in the description, you can have a call to action that leads you back to the sign up page, or learn more about the conference here, sign up today, get your early bird ticket, whatever that is. So instead of just having a little picture and saying, like, I hope people click through, you're actually giving them value up front and then driving traffic back to the website. So number 2 are the montage highlights. So this gets back to your content pillars. If you're cutting up these clips and you're identifying these little nuggets of wisdom, the next step is be like, what kind of thematic videos can we create around a certain topic? To use the health example, if it's around the how to get the motivation, how to get the transformation to start eating healthy. And there's 4 different speakers that tell personal stories or give examples or ways to shift your habits. You can analyze it from a bigger picture perspective and be like, what clips can I take from all these different speakers and mash them together? Or if you're a speaker yourself, what types of themes, what types of content do you talk about, and how can you combine multiple stories or multiple pieces of information into a single video? This is cool because you see this a lot in movies where it's this fast-paced, action-packed montage with like little clips, and it creates something bigger than the sum of its parts. And once again, this is a phenomenal way to promote yourself, to promote your conference, to drive traffic back to your site, to book more speaking gigs, or to sell more tickets for your upcoming conference. Number 3 is repurpose the content, or new mediums. Now, I won't talk too much about this because there's so many ways that you can do it, but I'll just list 2 as an example. The first is articles. So, you have speakers that are coming to you, you're a speaker yourself, and you're delivering this message. Now you can get that video transcribed and then create an article that educates people in more detail around that topic. And in fact, this is very symbiotic with the social clips that you're sharing. So you can share a 1-minute video, say you're not ready to promote the next conference, or that's not the call to action, or you're a speaker and you just want to drive traffic back to your website to give them more value. You can use the video clip and then say, read more about it, or read this article, or visit our site to learn more about this topic. You have a link, and then it drives them back to a 1,000-word article that maybe then has some call to action, sign up, learn more, buy a ticket, whatever that next step is. And then there's a whole category of what I would call image content or micro content that you can create. And just one quick example would be quote cards. So as you're transcribing all this content, you're then able to think, okay, now what are the greatest nuggets of wisdom? What are those little like 5, 10, 15 word quotes from those speakers that is really going to engage people, that's inspirational, motivational, educational? And so since probably at this event, or if you're a speaker, you've hired someone to do this, to come take photos as well. You should definitely be doing photos and video. So you match a quote from their presentation, which is easy to find once you have it transcribed. You just go through and you highlight or you bold like those powerful quotes. And then you match that with a great image. And that's something to talk with if you're planning this in advance, which you should, talk to your photographer at your event and make sure they're creating some images that have a lot of empty space. So some of the most powerful ones are where you'll see a speaker maybe in profile and then 80% of the space is empty, provides plenty of that blank canvas to then create those quotes on. So there are 3 different ways that you can be repurposing your presentation content. Don't just sit on it. It's a wealth of information. You can use it to give value, to grow your brand, and to get more people to come to your latest speech or your latest conference. So start leveraging this and it'll be good. So thank you so much for watching. Now, put your message in motion.